If your life is built around waiting for the weekend, it's time to rewrite the script. The 4-hour workweek isn't a fantasy, it's a challenge. A challenge to everything you've been told about success, security, and what your life is supposed to look like. Most people live reactively. They work jobs they don't love, to buy things they don't need, and wait for retirement like it's some final reward for decades of sacrifice. But what if retirement wasn't the goal? What if freedom was the baseline? That's the idea Tim Ferriss brings to the table. He wasn't a guru or millionaire when he started, he was burned out. Working 80 hours a week running his supplement business, trapped by the very thing he thought would give him freedom. So he flipped the entire system. He asked a dangerous question: what if I could live like a millionaire without being one? That question led to the new rich. Not people obsessed with accumulating money, but people obsessed with reclaiming time. They don't wait 40 years to start living. They build lives that are rich now, rich in freedom, rich in location choice, rich in purpose. And the system? It's DEAL define, eliminate, automate, liberate. It's not about working harder, it's about working less but smarter, with more control. It starts with defining what you really want. Ferriss uses something called dreamlining. Not goal setting, but dream building. You write down what you'd do if money were no object. What would you have? Who would you become? What would a perfect day feel like? One of Tim's own dreams was to learn tango in Argentina. Instead of just hoping it might happen someday, he broke it down. He calculated the flights, the cost of classes, the rent, and it turned out it wasn't $1 million dream. It was a $2,000 a month lifestyle shift. Dreamlining turns vague goals into detailed plans, timelines, numbers, and steps. Suddenly, your dream isn't a fantasy, it's a strategy. Then comes eliminate. Most people confuse movement with progress. They stay busy, endless meetings, emails, to-do lists, and think it's productive. Ferriss leaned into the 80-20 rule. 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. So he stripped everything else away. He stopped answering most emails. He fired his most high-maintenance clients, the ones who caused 80% of stress but only 20% of profit. He even set email autoresponders that told people when he'd reply, on his terms, not theirs. Imagine the control that gives you. No more inbox panic. Just pure focus on what actually moves your life forward. Next, automate. Ferriss didn't want to manage his business day to day. He built systems to do the work without him. He outsourced order processing, hired virtual assistants from overseas, and set up fulfillment through third-party logistics. He used tools like PayPal for recurring billing, Google Sheets for order tracking, and created FAQs so customer support didn't require him. What would normally take 40 hours a week took 4. Not because the business shrank, but because the systems expanded. You can do the same today. AI tools, automation software, VA marketplaces. There's never been more access to leverage. The goal is to remove yourself from the middle. Your time should buy freedom, not more responsibility. Then, finally, liberate. This is the point where most people freeze because it means letting go. Ferriss started taking mini retirements, month-long escapes instead of waiting until old age. He lived in Berlin, Tokyo, Buenos Aires, not as a tourist but as a local. He did martial arts in China, learned tango in South America, all while his business ran in the background. He wasn't rich by the old definition. He was rich in time, in experience, in choice. He didn't ask for permissions, he designed his life, and here's the uncomfortable truth. The system you were handed, the 9 to 5, the climb, the hustle for weekends, it's not broken. It's working exactly as it was designed, to keep you obedient, busy, comfortable enough to stay, scared enough not to leave. But here's the thing, you don't need permission to change your life. You need courage. You need a plan. You need to start asking better questions. What if your life wasn't built around work? What if your income wasn't tied to your hours? What if you could design your own schedule, build automated income, and live where you want, while you're still young enough to enjoy it? The 4-hour workweek isn't about escaping work. It's about escaping meaningless work. It's about replacing dead hours with powerful ones, replacing reaction with design, and proving that you don't have to be rich to live richly. You weren't born to grind through decades and hope for peace at the end. You were born to explore, to build, to breathe. And the scariest part? It's possible. So here's the question you need to answer. If you could rebuild your life from scratch, no limits, no expectations, what would it look like? Write it down. Share it in the comments. If this made you think differently, if it sparked something, then don't let it fade. Hit like, subscribe. Because here on Nolij, we're building a life that actually means something. And we're doing it together, one idea at a time.